Hi there, welcome on my cooking videos. Hope you enjoyed the last one. So we're getting that time of year now, nice drawing in, glut of fruit everywhere. So what do you do when you've got a glut of apples? I thought I'd have a look in my little book and see what difference there is. So I've gone back to the old Beaver 1975 family cookbook and I found an apple and cinnamon layer pudding made with a suet pastry. So I thought, well, let's give this a try. It's a steamed suet pudding. No, it's not healthy, but I'll give it a try anyway. I'm just going to make a few alterations to the actual recipe over here. Anyway, I'd like to thank Danny and Danny's mum there for the glut of apples they've given me. So I've frozen some and the rest I'm going to do this with. So again, this is a great dish, nice and warm, and especially with the winter's nights coming on. This would be a nice pudding, great with custard and double cream, yeah. Anyway, enough of this old waffling. Let's get on over here and see what we're going to use for making this apple alleged cinnamon layer pudding from this Beaver 1975 cookbook. Let's get on over here. Right, so the ingredients for this apple and cinnamon layer pudding, I'm not going to be using cinnamon, so I'm going to call it apple and mixed spice layered pudding. So, from this Beaver book, so what we got here, I've got 500 grams there of assorted apples, which I've sliced up there nicely. I'm using 100 grams of mixed fruit. The recipe says sultanas. I haven't got any, I've got mixed fruit, so let's put mixed fruit instead. So 100 grams there of mixed fruit. I'm using a couple of tablespoonfuls of sugar there. I'm using 1 5mm teaspoon of a mixed spice powder, not cinnamon. I don't mind cinnamon, but I think mixed spice will actually give it a better warming flavour, especially for the winter. But anyway, we'll see. And also 200 grams of a suet pastry, which basically is 200 grams of self-raising flour, 100 grams of suet, a little water, mix it all up. So that's basically what you're using. Pretty simple ingredients. The longest bit of this is actually the steam knife. So anyway, let's get on and start cooking this dish. So what we need to do first, we need to prepare the fruit. So all we need to do is put the apples in a bowl, whack in the mixed fruit, or sometimes if you're using it, then sugar, mixed spice, and then basically get your fingers in there and make sure this is all thoroughly mixed up. You need to get that mixed spice coating all the apple and the mixed fruit as well. So you could put cinnamon in it, just cinnamon or whatever. Again, I think this will make a slight difference to an apple pie. Normally apple pie, yeah, a bit boring, but say this time of year, the old cold nights and the winter coming on, I think this will be a very nice warming dish. So basically, that's it. Fruit, sugar, spices, and mixed fruit mixed up. So let's put that to one side. Now we're going to use a large dish there to layer this pudding in. I think that's about, well, I reckon about a litre dish there. That's what we're using. So first of all, let's get my old pastry sheet out. Need to get this pastry rolled out. A bit of flour on there. Break a little bit of this off because we've got to layer this up. I need enough just to go in the bottom here. So let's roll this out. Now again, you can do this pastry as thick or as thin as you want. Don't forget, it is going to expand. So I'm not going to do it too thick. I want it sort of quite filling, thin sort of layers of suet pastry. So that's what we do there. Get a knife, put that in there. Let's make a little indentation so I've got a rough idea of the size. There we go. And that's going to be the first one. You can use a round cut if you've got one. So basically you just cut the first one out to one side, put that in the bottom of your dish there. That is simple as that. Get a bit of the apple fruit mix, whack that in there. Make sure we get enough fruit in there. And then it's the same, we now just repeat and get another layer of pastry on top, and you do that till you've got 4 or 5 layers and you lose the fruit up. So I'll carry on with that and come back when it's done. Right, so I'm just going to do the second layer now. So there's the pastry. Push that in there. Make sure it goes down nicely. That's the second layer. Again, apples on top, like so, and then another layer on top of that. There's the last layer on. Now I would suggest you push the edges of the suet pastry down so it tucks it in nicely. Push it down a little bit, and if I show you the side view, there you can see the layers of suet pastry, apples and fruit. So all we need to do now is cover this over with a bit of greaseproof paper, and then we're going to steam that. There we go, a bit of greaseproof paper, put a pleat in the top to allow it to expand, tie it up with string around the edge. Anybody remember, my mother used to make suet pudding, steamed puddings, always used to wrap an old tea towel around it as well. I'm going to do it that way, but I'm just going to whack this in the steamer. So that's in the steamer. If you haven't got a steamer, put it in a saucepan, put a trivet on the bottom of the saucepan, upturned down saucer or a small plate, and place it on there. If you're going to do it in a saucepan, don't let the container bit hit the bottom of the pan, and make sure you fill it up at least halfway, 3/4 of the way, and keep an eye on the water. But I'm going to put this in the steamer. That's now going to go on the cooker, steam that for about 2 hours, and we come back when it's finished to see what it comes out like. There we go, so that's had 2 hours in the steam. It's now time to get it out. So let's take this away. Very careful, this will be quite hot. Now let's just cut the string now. Oh, it is still, see it's steaming, it's still quite hot. There we go. Well, it's certainly looking nice. Certainly well cooked, that suet pastry. If I give it a turn on its side, you can see there now all the layers bubbling away, all the layers of pastry and fruit there. So let's get this put onto a plate. There we go, steam a little bit, so let's try and turn it up. You can see it's all nicely layered there. I'm just going to let that cool down a bit now, and I'm going to get a bit, slice it up and put a bit on a plate so we can see the inside a bit better. There we go. It's looking nicely layered in there. I don't know if you can see that. The pastry's cooked well. Put that to one side. Got a little bit here. Just going to try now. Give it a nice cut. Certainly makes a difference from sort of normal apple pie. Still a bit hot, so let's try a little bit. That suet pastry is actually cooked to perfection. That is very nice. You taste the apple, not too sour, just the right amount of sweetness. You can taste the mixed fruit in there, and you taste the mixed spice as well. Do you know what? I don't do a lot of puddings normally, but I tell you, this is very nice. Makes a nice change from an apple pie, especially these dark winter months coming. That is very nice. The apples cooked perfectly. So it's not overly sweet, it's just perfect. Not sour. The spices there from that mixed spice there. We'll take a little bit more. That is nice. That is very warming. That mixed spice flavour, it really is warming food. That is going to be a wonderful bit of double cream on that, a nice bit of custard. That is a nice tasty difference from a normal bog standard apple pie. Give it a try. So that's it. That's another one done. I don't do many desserts, but yeah, that one's pretty good. There we go. Still eating it. one layered apple and mixed spice suet pudding. Oh, yeah, that's very, very nice. Very patient, cooked perfectly. Very filling dish. Hey, winter time, that'll fill you up, bit of custard. Can't go from. So like I said, it makes a change from a normal apple pie. Something totally different. The only thing I think I might change, put a bit more mixed spice in there. And instead of normal white sugar, I think I might go to brown sugar just to give it a bit of a darker colour. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, enough of this old waffling. I hope you enjoyed that one. Anyway, please do like, subscribe, give it the old thumbs up. Do appreciate it. Join me on the next video. Don't know what I'm doing yet, but hey ho, we'll just wait and see what happens. Anyway, look after yourselves, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you again soon. Bye.